turn on your notification bell, you will still get those information you are looking for.
Cash withdrawal limit meant to punish politicians. Fintiri berates Emefiele. Now, the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has been under attack by politicians since the announcement of the cash withdrawal limit. Yes, the Apex Bank announced that the country in future, that should be by January 9, has been planned, that individuals will have a withdrawal limit of 100,000 naira per week. That is, no individual will withdraw more than 100,000 naira per week. They also pegged 500,000 per week for corporate bodies. Yes, for corporate bodies that's companies, 500 naira per week. They pegged it 500,000 naira per week, and so 100,000 naira per week for individuals. And so since then, the politicians have been running head-to-head criticizing the policy. Yes, this time around, Ahmad Fintiri, the governor of Adamawa State, is saying that the governor of Central Bank have done the policy in a bad faith. Say that policy is not for the interest of Nigerians. According to him, it will breed poverty. The policy will breed poverty in the country to pauperize Nigerians. So even the states, even the House of or the National Assembly members have cautioned the CBN governor on that policy as well. So look at what Fintiri said. I quote, "What is breeding poverty? Economic policies. Look at the one that is about to be implemented by the Central Bank, which would further throw the country into poverty. Nobody is saying the economy shouldn't be cashless. Take time to do it systematically. We shouldn't do it as if some people wanted to be politicians and they were denied the opportunity. Then they use their office to punish the politicians. If we are talking about governors diverting funds, we expect the government to correct the anomaly by sponsoring amendment to the Nigerian Constitution to separate the office of the Accountant General of the Federation from the Accountant General of the federal government, so that funds belonging to the local government and the state would not also be converted by the federal government, because what the governors are being accused of, the federal government can equally be accused of doing same 10 times over." So, end of quote. Now, so what Fintiri is saying is that he accused the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Emefiele, of trying to witch hunt politicians because he failed to make it to be a candidate of the All Progressive Congress. As you will recall, that the CBN governor, during the primaries or nominations of political parties, he purchased a form through some persons. Yes. And he said those people were actually advocating for him. But of course, Nigerians know what they are doing in this country. They will go and lobby some persons. They will give them money behind the scene, and they will go and purchase the form for them. That was their style this period. And so the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria did same, where he purchased 100 million naira expression of interest and nomination forms of the All Progressive Congress, the ruling party. So we all know what happened. That ill-fated ambition, asked many Nigerians. Many people asked why a CBN governor will go into politics to the point of purchasing an interest and nomination forms of a political party to contest for elections, while still serving the country as the chief executive officer of the Apex Bank in the country. And so Fintiri said because of that, the All Progressive Congress failed to give him the ticket, and so he's witch hunting politicians. Yes. And again, he's saying, as the governors of Nigeria, 36 governors have been accused by the Minister of Planning and Muhammad Buhari that they have been diverting money meant for the local government under them. Fintiri is saying that the federal government is also guilty of whatever they are accusing the states of doing with local government funds. That if the federal government wants to be sincere, they should have a separate Accountant General for the Federation and for the federal government. Yes, that is to show accountability and transparency. That Accountant General for the Federation should not be the same as Accountant General of the federal government. So that office is supposed to be distinct and be separated. But what we have today is that the Accountant General is one, both for the government of Nigeria, the federal government, and the federation, wherein you have the monies for the 36 states and 774 local government and the federal government at the same place, same person controlling it. And so that's what Fintiri says. Say, federal government of Nigeria, what you accused the governors, you are doing it even 10 times over. And now Fintiri is saying that they are being witch hunt. Yes, Fintiri is protecting his interests as a politician, number one, and majorly as his godfather. Yes, talking about the Waziri Adamawa, Atiku Abubakar, who is contesting for the presidency of this country. Yes, so Fintiri is making sure that they do their vote buying. Not only him, the politicians have been crying. We know because they have been, the policy will affect them. Their vote buying. All the things they want to do, to lobby, to corrupt Nigerians. So it will not go down the way they wanted it to go. And so that's why they're all crying blue mother, crying foul, shouting that the CBN governor is witch hunting them. The policy, if it is not something that will actually reduce corruption, these people will not be shouting in this manner. They know that it will limit their strength in vote buying. They know that it will limit their strength in looting. And so that's why they're shouting. If well implemented, because all this is we're saying, if well implemented, the Central Bank of Nigeria and the commercial banks, if they didn't sabotage, or if they do not sabotage this process, then that is when we're talking about it reducing the corruption tendencies. But if they are prone to these people, politicians will know them, will know how they play their games. You see? So if the commercial bank officials and the central bank will not allow themselves to be compromised by these corrupt politicians in power, then that means the policy will work. Yes. So if it is not by paper or only in paper, but it will be practicalized, the central bank will walk the talk, then the politicians will be they will have it, very hard to launder money for the corruption they intend to carry out. Talking about the election of 2023, because they are preparing, looting, keeping money, stashing cash at home. So this time around, the central bank has said, we have redesigned the naira. So whatever money you have at home, if you don't bring it out before 31st January 2023, it will expire. And even if you bring it out now, you cannot make a cash withdrawal of less than 500,000 a day as a corporate entity. 500,000 per week, I beg your pardon. 500,000 per week as a corporate entity, and 100,000 per week as an individual. So all these policies, the poor people are not shouting, they're not crying, they're not saying we hunt. It is only the politicians that have been crying, shouting. That means if well implemented, it will go a long way to checkmate their reckless